today's episode, you will learn the 3 key factors it takes to drastically increase your membership growth for the year while learning exactly what you need to do to run your membership like a true founder, all while making sure your members stay excited, engaged, and renewing inside of your membership every month. Welcome to the $1 Million Memberships Podcast, where we help female entrepreneurs like yourself start, grow, and scale multiple 6- and 7-figure online memberships with simple, step-by-step strategies that actually work.
Your life is about to get so good.
Let's dive in. Little update before we get into the episode. If you want to work with me completely free, November 24th, 25th, and 26th to grow your online membership, listen up, because I am hosting a completely free 3-day workshop. And at the time that I am recording this right now, it is 80% full. So if right now you're struggling to grow your online existing membership community, whether you maybe have your first handful of founding members inside and now excitement has just completely died off anytime you talk about it online, you're getting no bites. It doesn't seem like that excitement is still there like it was the first time you talked about it. And you're struggling to get members inside and you fear that the vibe is just dying inside of your community right now because of it. Or maybe you have members inside, but you have no idea how to actually scale this thing. You feel like you're working your butt off trying to run it, and you know it's just not something that you're going to be able to sustain long term. This workshop is for you. So over the 3 days, we're going to be covering number 1, day 1, is how to get consistent membership sales without you actually being the engine to do it. So without you being on your stories or making posts, trying to sell it all the time, without you feeling like you're launching every single month, we're going to teach you systems to make sure you're constantly signing new members, even behind the scenes. Day 2, we're going to look at what to actually include inside of your membership. This is going to surprise you. A lot of people just load their memberships with stuff that actually is creating a worse client experience and member experience than you intended for by putting that stuff inside of there. So we're going to look at what you actually should include inside of a really good membership and what's just wasting your time. I think this day is actually going to shock you. And then day 3, we're talking about how to run and scale your membership like a true founder. This is where we talk about systems. This is where we're talking about scaling. This is where we're talking about all of those things that you need to have in place to actually take yourself out of it so that you are not the engine behind the membership. And another absolutely amazing, epic thing is that someone is going to walk away from this 3-day workshop. So maybe you listening, if you get your ticket, you could walk away with a full year VIP membership inside of my membership, $1 Million Memberships Club, which is my membership helping you grow your online membership to multiple 6- and 7 figures the right way. All the details of how you can win that year inside of my membership completely free. By the way, this is a $4,000, over $4,000 actually, package that one of you is going to win completely free. All details are on the sign up page, so make sure you check that out when you go to register. I just have to say, this workshop will truly change the entire way you run your membership. I have no doubt about that. I am so every time I do these workshops, I'm like, wow, this is something that you need to treat like it's paid and attend and participate in, because I promise you, if you do, this will completely change the trajectory of your entire 2026 and beyond. Attending this workshop could literally quite possibly be the moment that everything changes for you and your vision board membership community actually becomes a reality. I'm so excited for this. I'm so excited for you to experience it. So if this is something you want to experience, you want to be a part of, make sure you pause this right now, go to the first link in the show notes and get your ticket, because again, we're 80% full. I'm sure by the time this actually releases on Monday, we're going to be more than 80% full. And once you join, you're going to get an email sent right to you with the link of how to get inside of our community. Once you get into our community, really important, go and find our meetups inside of the community, hit going, add them to your calendar so that you don't miss it. Trust me, you're going to want to be on these lives. And then come join the convo, because we are already in there talking. Everyone's introducing each other, talking about what memberships they have.
I love you.
And Gray loves you. And I think that's the way to end this. Okay, let's get into the episode. Hopefully I see you inside of the workshop happening on Monday, November 24th. Let's get into it. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Million Dollar Memberships podcast. I'm excited for this episode because this is just one of those core episodes. If you're going to save a podcast episode, I feel like you should probably save this one and keep coming back to it, because a lot of the times we can get really wrapped up in the weeds with all of the little intricacies that we do inside of our memberships, creating content, selling it, actually working with our members, making sure our members are happy, engaging in there, making sure our backend and systems are in place. There's so many things that we do. And I find it's really easy to get really hyper focused on one area and then let the other ones slip. This episode's really just going to help you make sure that your membership, the way that you're running it, is really balanced and that you are never missing a core foundation that you need to be focusing on. So again, I would definitely save this episode. This is something that you will want to come back to. So let's get into it. The 3 factors that is going to absolutely exponentially grow your membership this year. Number 1 is you need to have a consistent sales system in place. Basically, this one, you need to be able to bring in new members inside of your membership every month or whenever your membership is open without actually launching nonstop. So with this one, you need to have a system where you can bring in members, or at least bring in people to either your waitlist or your membership without you actually doing the launching and doing the selling nonstop. I will tell you what does not work anymore is just solely focusing on social media content to grow your membership and to sign new membership members. Trying to create Instagram posts or reels or TikToks and constantly be getting people into your membership. Yes, you can definitely do it, but that's not how we want to actually work to grow a membership. To actually grow a membership where this thing is growing consistently and sustainable, where it doesn't actually depend on us to be showing up all the time, that's not how we want to be selling our membership. Yes, people do that, but they're also constantly on social media selling all the time. And that's just not how we do things around here. So we're teaching you a different way and a better way. True membership growth. I'm talking a membership that can sell without you, that consistently is growing and growing and growing. Again, key part, without you, requires 2 things. The first is visibility. Obviously, people need to know that your membership exists. So with visibility, this can be on social media, this can be on podcasts, this can be on YouTube, doesn't matter. It just needs to come across people's eyeballs. And 2, and this is a very important piece here, is scalability. This is where you don't actually have to be the machine behind the sales coming in, and it's running 24/7. So example is when I grew my first membership to its first 6 figures, and this was my first membership in 2019. Things are a lot different. I don't even think Reels existed back then. Things were different back then. I feel like stories just came online on Instagram. I don't know. Honestly, everything has changed so much. I can't even keep track of when it changed. But when I first grew that membership to its first 6 figures, I did everything organically. Everything was done through content, through DMs, through conversations. And I was fucking burnt out because I didn't take a single day off of social media. There was a time where I literally did not take a single day off of posting, of DMing, of all of the things. And it was exhausting. I actually remember having this conversation with myself of wanting to give up on my business, because I look back now and I'm like, of course you did. But I look back and I remember having that conversation of, can I actually do this for the long term? I'm doing it right now because I have to, but 5 years from now, could I still be doing this every single day? I don't want to do that. And I remember having that thought with myself, and that thought alone scared me so much that I knew I had to do things a different way. And it made me have a miniature panic attack about being in business, because I just didn't want to be online all the time. And you guys probably know, there's some people who getting on their phone, posting online, posting pictures, whatever, videos, that comes so naturally to them, and they want to do it. I'm a little bit that, but not fully. I sharing my day and whatever, but I am not the kind of person who's mid breakdown and pulls out my phone and needs to tell people about it. That's just not who I am. And there's people who can 100% grow a successful business through just social media because that's what they like to do. And that's just their thing. That's what they like to do. I'm not saying that's the way to do it, because at the end of the day, still things happen in your life where you can't be on social media all the time, and having these systems in place is so necessary. But personally, that's not me. And so that's not how I teach things. I like to really teach things with systems so that you can really you can build something that makes just as much money, something that builds you a multiple 6 or 7-figure business where you don't actually have to be on all the time. Because for me, that was my aha moment of like, holy fuck, I cannot be online every single day selling to have a successful business. I have to do things a different way. And that's when I got really into systems and really into figuring out another way of doing things. So again, this can look so different for every founder. You can have someone who like really grows on TikTok and then has a system on the back end. You can have someone who really grows on podcasts and then have a system on the back end. So there's so many ways to do it. But the overarching thing here is that at the end of the day, you need to have visibility and you need to have systems, which is that scalability piece. Number 2 is that you need to design a member experience that actually retains your members. And before you're just like, what? Of course, duh, Paige, just hear me out. Because this is something where I feel like a lot of people actually trip up. Like when I do a lot of deep dives and looking into some of our members inside of $1 Million Memberships Clubs memberships and some of my tens of clients memberships, this is one thing that I see very often is that so many people will just put all of the stuff inside of the membership, right? All of the stuff, the files, the meditations, the audio files, the videos, the workbooks, like all of the things, because you want your members inside to have the best experience possible. And you don't want to miss anything. You don't want to leave anything out and risk them not having everything they need. But what this actually does is more times than not, it's actually going to overwhelm them. And even if your membership has absolutely everything that they need to get the result, if it's chaotic and messy and there's just too much stuff in there, the chances of them actually going and getting that result from the content that you have inside of your membership is slim to none, because they don't know where to look. They don't know how to use it. They don't know how to actually apply it to what they're doing in their life and in their specific journey. It's just not even going to be used. So something you need to remember as a membership founder is that more content just does not equal a better experience. And an example of this is, okay, so I joined this membership. It was probably a year ago now. And the membership was something that I had wanted to join for a long time because it was something that I was really wanting to work on just in my personal life. I had been following the person's YouTube channel for a while and they opened the doors to their membership. I was so excited to get in. I was like, okay, this is exactly what I'm needing. Everything that they do is exactly what I want to do. They say that everything is inside of this membership. I'm stoked. So I go into the membership and immediately upon joining, I was just like, oh, fuck. They don't know how to build a membership because they had everything in there. And you might think, well, that's not a problem. That's a good thing. No, they had everything in there and it was all over the place. I had no idea where to start. There was imagine just going into a membership and just seeing files, links to files everywhere with no actual explanation of where to start, how to use them, how to apply it to my own personal life. It was just like a library, just a library of full of links. And I was just like, man, this sucks, because I know that every single thing that I want to work on is inside of this membership, but I don't have the time to just go figure out what's inside of each link and where to actually apply the thing. You know what I mean? And it's going to be the exact same thing for your members, because a lot of the times people are needing what it is that you have inside of your membership, but they haven't actually had the result yet. So they don't know the proper questions to ask in order to figure out where to start from. Does that make sense? It's like the concept, you don't know what you don't know. So if they don't know where to start, they're probably just not going to start because they don't know what to actually ask in order to find their starting place. So instead of just focusing on content and stuffing your membership with content, you need to be focusing on culture and community. That is the biggest thing. You need to focus on culture and community first. An example I use here is thinking of like going to an event versus going alone with someone. If you go to an event, let's just say it's like a business event and you go alone. Let's just say it's a business event. You are much more likely to go to that event and then leave earlier if you go alone versus if you go to that business event and you are with a friend, you're more likely to stay till the end, like really ride that thing out if you're actually going with someone. But the chances of you actually leaving a little bit earlier or like right when the main event's done or whatever it is, if you're by yourself, is a much more higher chance than if you're with somebody. This is how I want you to think of your membership. So one of the number one rules that you want to consider when thinking of what your membership needs to actually have inside of it, before we even think of that, I want you to be thinking of, okay, how can I actually work really hard first to create a culture? And every single member inside of your membership should be connected regularly to at least one member to better their experience. Because again, if they're not going to your event, if they're not going to your membership and have at least one connection, they're more likely to dip out early, aka they're more likely to cancel early. So just think of that analogy whenever you are doing anything inside of your membership. It's not about the content. Yes, content matters, especially if you do have a membership that requires content for people to get a specific result. That does matter. But before you even think of that, you need to first think of, okay, to actually retain members, have a member experience that actually keeps people in. That is where culture, that is where connection really comes into play. Now, if you are a part of our In Her Community workshop happening next week, so November 24th to 26th, we also talk about what actual content to put inside of your membership. And I'm able to actually get into a little bit more detail there so that I can really help you personalize it to your own membership, whether you have a business membership or a health membership or whatever kind of real estate membership, whatever kind of membership you have. I'm really able to kind of get more into the depths of being able to help you really understand how this is going to apply to your membership alone. But before we even think of content, that is the first thing I want you to know, is that your culture is really what's going to retain people. That is the biggest piece. Now, number 3 of how you are going to grow your membership 20 times faster is you need to embody true founder leadership. It's so important that as a membership founder, you learn how to really make sure that you yourself are not the engine anymore. Maybe you came from one-on-one coaching. Maybe you came from one-on-one services. Maybe you came from a work environment where you had to actually get on calls or actually go meet with your clients or go on appointments or whatever it is. And now you're really looking to do the membership thing and scale and build the community and take yourself out of it more. In order to do this and actually run a true scalable membership that is consistently growing, you have to be so diligent about taking yourself out of it. And that can be really hard, especially if you have been really used to just being that engine, like I said. So again, first things first that comes to this is when you have a membership, you have to be community and culture forward. Just like the last point talking about culture, you have to lead with that. I mean, and again, if you are coming from something where it really did revolve around you and your client, you being there, this is something that is probably not going to come naturally at first, but you have to really remember you do not want to be building an audience anymore. You do not want people to just be talking to you and you being like the core of everything. You want to build a community. You want people to be talking to each other. And every single month, you want to feel like you have to be in there a little bit less and a little bit less and a little bit less. And I say that because when you're first growing your membership, especially in the first year, you really are going to be in there a lot more because you're creating the culture. You're showcasing how you want this culture to look. And so you are going to be in there starting more conversations and connecting more people. But every month, the idea is you kind of want to be in there a little bit less and a little bit less and a little bit less. And that's a good thing. You want to lead your community and set up systems so that it really runs smoothly without you having to do everything. So something I'm constantly telling our members inside of $1 Million Memberships Club is even in the beginning, even if you're in your first year and like, let's just say you don't have a team member with you, you don't have a community manager or ops manager or anything like that on your team, it's just you. You still want to be thinking of, okay, if I do bring someone on, how would I delegate this to them? You still want to be creating systems and automations and documents of how to do every single thing in your membership, because when it's time to delegate, it's time to delegate. And it's going to be so much easier if you have these things in place of, okay, this is going to be off my plate. This is how to do it. I created a Zoom months ago of how to do it. here's the SOP for it. I'm going to be able to train you so much easier than if you're so busy and barely have a second to even get on a call with someone, let alone train somebody, because you left it a little bit too last minute. You want to be thinking of these things ahead of time. So really thinking all the time with everything that you do inside of your membership, how can I delegate this? What am I going to delegate? Am I going to always have to do this? Or should I be documenting everything I'm doing right now so that I can get this off my plate and give it to someone later? Everything that can be automated inside of your membership, you need to automate and do it before you're too busy. Again, when you're too busy, that's when it gets overwhelming. So automating absolutely everything. Again, everything that you're doing when you're a membership founder and a membership leader is you're really trying to take yourself out of it as much as you can while still really preserving your members' experience and their results, making sure that your membership is as good as it can possibly be. And you know what? When you are leading a membership, your job really is your member experience. It's really making sure that everything is set up for them to win. Everything in your content is an amazing experience. It's easy to navigate. It's easy for them to get a result. I shouldn't say easy, but you know what I mean. It's easy theoretically. It's easy for them to get their result, not from being inside of your membership, meaning your steps, your success path, everything's easy to follow. If you're constantly so busy because nothing's automated, nothing's delegated, nothing has systems, and you're really just like flying by the seat of your pants every single day, oh, I have to post in the community. Oh, I have to reply to our members. Oh, I have to engage with everyone. Oh crap, I have to send this onboarding email to this new member. Like if you're constantly flying by the seat of your pants, you have absolutely no time to constantly be refining and fine-tuning your members' experience. You have no time to really be going through and auditing what needs to be improved. You have no time to actually be the leader of this membership because you're constantly in it. So that's what I mean when I say you want to take yourself out. That doesn't mean that you're just on the beach and you have no care in the world about your members or your membership or anything like that. When I say you want to take yourself out of it, I mean, you don't want to be in the weeds of just operating it, because that is something that someone else can do. That's something that systems can do. That's something that can be automated. You shouldn't have to be in the weeds. You need to be more so from an operational CEO visionary standpoint of operating your membership. So that's what I mean when I say you have to take yourself out. And that is the only way you're going to scale your membership. You will not grow your membership if you are constantly in the weeds. So learning how to be a true founder is one of those things that it's just so, you have to know it in order to be in the membership business and actually have a multiple 6 or 7 figure membership. You have to learn this. Now, luckily for you guys, if you are in the In Her Community workshop, all 3 of these points, building a consistent sales system, member experience that retains, and what content to actually put inside of your membership, and learning how to be a true leader inside of your membership. This is exactly what the workshop is. These are the literal day 1, day 2, and day 3. It's exactly what we're covering. So if you listen to this podcast and you're like, okay, these are good points, these are things that I need to know, you definitely want to be inside of this workshop, because this is exactly what we're going to cover. And quite honestly, if you have a membership right now and you don't have these systems in place, this workshop could be the literal difference of how your 2026 goes. And I know that's like a huge promise, but I already can see what the trainings are. I already know this is something that is completely going to change your year in business if you just commit to it. If you go to the trainings, if you commit to the 3 days, which is really not that long, if you can commit to those 3 days, I know it will change the trajectory of your entire 2026 and beyond. The way you just show up in your membership, the way that you sell your membership, the way that you lead your members inside of your membership is going to be so significantly different by you attending this workshop. And I know that's a big promise, but I also know that's going to be the truth from you coming to this. So really encourage you, if you are not signed up yet, go sign up. It is the first link in the show notes. I cannot wait to meet all of you and see you in there. And if you are signed up, come join us in the community. We are already in there. We're already talking memberships, and it is going to be a freaking blast. So I will see you in the workshop next week, and I will see you next week on the podcast. Bye.